welcome back to another episode of Joe's Coral Reef. Today we're going to be doing a March update on the Ricos Nano Challenge tank. This is the half tank, half refugium. It's like 10 and 10. Everything seems to be doing pretty good. I did have some issues. Well, first off, you'll notice the color changes in the video. There's some blue, there's some whites. I was playing with the different filter settings on my camera. I was putting an orange filter on there on my phone. And then I was also tweaking the Kessel light. Just trying to get different settings to see what worked good. A lot of these corals I picked up at a frag swap in Ann Arbor, Michigan a couple weeks back. Some of them, I don't remember the names completely. The one on the left is a Jason Fox coral. I remember that. I don't actually know what type it is. But you know, they're starting to grow out. They're starting to encrust on the frags or on the rocks. This one, this orange one, is really cool, and it is. It's starting to go down on the rock. It's starting to grow out, which is really cool. Here's a Monty. This sucker, if you look on the left, see how it's got like a straight line? It was on the frag rack. It was actually growing up the glass. So I'm hoping this one will do really well in the tank. I tried to put it low because I know they're gonna kind of branch out, and I didn't want it to cover any of the bird's nests or the stylophora. This guy, he was so bright green, you know, and I had to cut him down. I hated doing that. You know what happened? I did a water change last week. I left the heater unplugged for a day, and the tank temperature came down to 65 degrees. One of the other acros didn't make it. You know, all the stylophora and bird's nests seem to make it, but you know, the acros, they're pretty sensitive. This one, this green one, I hope it bounces back. But you know, the bird's nest and the stylophoras, you can see all the white tips. They really are growing, and they are starting to fill out. I mean, it's going to take a while. And there's crazy fish. I make fun of him, but you know, he's really interactive. Whenever you come up to the tank, he's swimming around, and he's got some really cool colors. And you know, I purposely carved out a lot of caves in that rock. So he's swimming in and out of the rock. It's pretty cool. I think he likes his little home in there, even though he hated the damselfish. So here's another one of those plating corals. This sucker is just awesome. The color on it is awesome. And you can see it starting to grow off the frag plug. So it is growing in the tank, and all I'm doing is water changes. I put a little amino acids in the other day. I haven't really started dosing yet. This, I've got to figure out what this thing is. This thing's really cool. You know, I was at the frag swap. I had given away some of my coral from my other tank, and people are asking me, well, what do you want? What do you want to swap with? And I'm like, whatever. I don't really care. Give me something new. Give me something I don't have before. You know, I hate fixing myself into I like these type of corals. I don't know what it is until I get it in the tank, see if I can grow it. So some of these are just mysteries to me until I figure it out. This one's awesome. This is one of the ones I picked up at the frag swap. It is just awesome, and it started to grow out over the plug. It's always got its little feeding tentacles out. So the refugium's coming along. You know, I've got a lot of hair algae on the bottom, and man, you know, the camera, I just could not get this right. I got a lot of like banding, and I don't know if it was because the Kessel was on one side, so you've got, you know, the LED at a certain spectrum, and then you've got this 5200 floodlight on the other side. I had a lot of issues. I tried turning them off and playing around, but yeah, this little damsel's doing really good. And it's kind of cool. I might leave him in the side because what he's doing is, as the food comes over and I feed the jerkfish on the other side, he's getting all that extra food. You know, he's getting the excess, so it's not sitting over there. You know, he's made himself a little home underneath the algae. I hope it's enough room in there for him. He is a really friendly fish. You can see you know, I had this in my other tank with the miracle mud. I get a lot of hair algae. It must be the nutrients or the silicates or something in the miracle mud, but I get a lot of hair algae. So the dragon's breath algae are not doing too good. They really are not. And then there's the one problem with my build. So look at the top. It's just really warping up even more. I'm probably gonna wind up doing something with that. That's probably my biggest bummer, is the top warping up like that. It kind of sucks, but what can you do? I mean, It is what it is. It covers the end, it keeps the moisture in there, and it's somewhere to mount the light. That light seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, for a $7 light. Here's my Marine Pure block. I'm probably going to have to pull this thing out. So it's starting to get a mat of hair algae on one side. But you know, on the back side, I do have some pineapple sponges on there. And you can see the little damsel on the bottom. He's made little pathways through the Chado. But I have a lot of hair algae in there. I haven't trimmed this. I haven't turned it. It's basically been sitting in that same spot for what, a month and a half now. I did move the dragon's breath though. So there's a full tank view of the nano tank. So I'm gonna try to get those frags off the frag rack. And some of the stuff on the ground, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Here's another view of some of them are bird's nests. I think some of them are stylophora. But you can see the little white tips on there. Everything seems to be growing. But you know, I couldn't get the camera to give me the colors I was looking for. I don't know if it was the filter or the way I had the light set up, but it was extremely difficult. Kind of a bummer. But I just fragged these and I glued them all onto the rock. There's probably my biggest disappointment for March. That SPS. Look at the bottom. He's got no polyps underneath there extending. Just a bummer. It was a beautiful frag. The heater being off really did a number on him. Man. So just kind of cruising around the tank. What else has went on? So I've been doing just water changes on the tank to keep up with you know, whatever's being sucked out by the corals in there. I haven't vacuumed the sand bed at all. You'll see I put a fighting conch in there. You see him on the left. He's basically went into the sand and I never see him move. I checked the other day to make sure he wasn't dead, you know, because you never know. I don't know how he reacted to it, the temperature drop, but he seems like he's alive, but he's not cleaning. Like in my other tank, I put one in there and that guy just cleaned the crap out of the sand bed. Where this guy, he's just sleeping. He doesn't seem to be doing anything. So it might have been the heater that screwed him up. So that's all I got for March. Those are my updates. So I've mounted some of these corals. I'm just going to let them grow out. I really have neglected this tank. I'll be honest with you. I'd probably move these frags around and glued them before this video, but besides that, I've done nothing. That's why there's still frags on the frag rack and they were growing on the glass. Same thing with the refugium. I haven't done anything with it. Just kind of seeing how it grows out, changing the water. I do got a doser for it, but guess what? I never put it on there. And I will be honest, I have not tested anything on here. I not even testing. I'm just changing the water, seeing how stuff grows. I'll find the corals that like what I'm doing, and then I'll grow those out. I mean, it is what it is. I've got 2 other tanks I'm working on. It's just a crazy month of March, and I just didn't get a chance to get to everything. So, sorry, Mr. Nano Tank, you get neglected. So, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching. Hit the like button.